My name is Rebecca. I'm 34 years old, and this is the hardest story I've ever had to tell. It's about grief, betrayal, and the moment I finally realized just how selfish my parents could be. 2 years ago, my son, Jacob, passed away unexpectedly. He was only 6. Even now, saying those words feels like cutting open an old wound. Jacob was my light, my reason to keep going when life felt impossible. He had this laugh that could brighten the darkest day. Losing him shattered me in ways I can't explain. When the doctors told me there was nothing more they could do, I thought my world had ended. Planning a funeral for your child is something no parent should ever have to do. Every detail felt wrong. The tiny casket, the flowers, the music. Nothing could capture the life that had been stolen from us. Through it all, I held on to one thought. At least my family will be there for me. My parents lived just 2 hours away. They had always claimed to be family-first kind of people, constantly reminding me how much they loved all their grandchildren. I assumed they'd be by my side, holding me up when I couldn't stand on my own. But when I called them to tell them about the funeral arrangements, my mom's voice was cold. "Rebecca, we can't make it. We've already booked a trip to Florida for that weekend. Your father needs the break." I thought I misheard her. "Mom, this is your grandson's funeral. How can you even think of going on vacation instead of being here?" She sighed, annoyed. "Sweetheart, grief is a private thing. You'll have your friends around you. We just can't handle the sadness." Her words hit me like a punch. My parents, the people who raised me, were choosing a beach trip over saying goodbye to my little boy. On the day of the funeral, I stood there alone, staring at the tiny coffin, scanning the crowd for my mom and dad, but they never showed. The emptiness in that moment was unbearable. I promised myself then and there that I'd never forget it. A few weeks later, I was still trying to pick up the pieces of my life. My house was quiet without Jacob's laughter, and I spent most nights crying myself to sleep. That's when my parents showed up at my door, unannounced. At first, I thought maybe they came to apologize, to finally offer the comfort I'd been desperate for. But I was wrong. My mom sat down on my couch, smoothed her skirt, and said, "Rebecca, we need to talk about Jacob's trust fund." My heart sank. "What about it?" Jacob's father, who passed away when Jacob was just a baby, had set up a trust fund worth $850,000 for his future. It was meant for college, for a first home, for building the life my son would never get to live. Since Jacob was gone, that money legally transferred to me. But my mom's eyes gleamed as she leaned forward. "Your sister's wedding is coming up, and we think it would be a beautiful way to honor Jacob if you used his trust fund to pay for it. He'd want his aunt to have a special day." I stared at her, stunned. "You're telling me you skipped Jacob's funeral, and now you want me to hand over his trust fund for a wedding?" She didn't even flinch. "Rebecca, don't be selfish. Your sister deserves a once-in-a-lifetime celebration. You don't need that money. What use could it possibly have now?" My dad, who had been quiet the whole time, finally chimed in. "Think of it as family unity. It would show everyone how generous you are even after tragedy." My hands shook with rage. "Generous? You abandoned me when I needed you the most. That trust fund was Jacob's legacy. It's not for you. It's not for her wedding. And if you think I'd give up a single cent, you're out of your mind." My mom's face hardened. "You've always been so dramatic. Fine, but don't expect us to support you if you keep acting like this." And with that, they left. I sat there in silence, my heart racing. First, they abandoned me at my son's funeral, and now they wanted to strip away the only piece of his future that remained. It was like losing him all over again. In the weeks that followed, word spread through my family. My sister called me crying, saying Mom had told her I was being selfish and cruel for not helping her. She begged me to reconsider, but I stood firm. I wasn't going to let Jacob's memory be erased, so someone else could have a lavish wedding with fancy flowers and overpriced catering. That trust fund wasn't just money. It was proof that Jacob mattered, that his future had value, even if he never got the chance to live it. I decided to put the trust towards something meaningful. I donated a portion to children's hospitals, in Jacob's name, so other families wouldn't have to suffer like I did. The rest I invested carefully, setting up a foundation to help grieving parents. It didn't heal the wound in my heart, but it gave me purpose. It made me feel like Jacob's short life still had the power to bring light to the world. As for my parents, we barely speak anymore. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever forgive them. Maybe one day. But not today. Not after everything they've done. Because love without respect isn't love at all. And parents who choose vacations over funerals, who see dollar signs instead of a grandson's memory, don't deserve to be called parents. I may have lost my son, but I will never lose the lesson he taught me. True love doesn't demand, it gives. True family doesn't abandon, it shows up. And I refuse to let anyone, especially my own parents, make me forget that.